Hello, my name is Jordan, and this is my pathway to literacy. What do I remember about my literacy growing up? What did my education look like? For some reason, I'm having a hard time remembering what knowledge I gained and how, because knowledge was learned in school, right? For assistance, I called my mother, talked with my stepdad, and also called my father. Mom said that there were a few books I enjoyed, but laughed and said there was one book I liked so much that I used it for multiple assignments because it was my favorite. I remember that book. It was called My Side of the Mountain, and it was about a kid who, out in the natural world, was on his own and had to figure everything out. My stepdad made educational films, and I acted in some of these films and assisted him on the production. This creativity transferred to school with awesome class projects, like building a replica of the Pueblo cliff dwelling and making a video in 6th grade about the importance of eating healthy. When I asked my father, he said, "Well, I remember sitting in your 1st grade school chair while the teacher explained how, although you were a great kid, you were a class clown, always making the other kids laugh." So in what way did I develop literacy? I didn't have a TV growing up, and I mostly played outside, but what else? I was musically literate. Instead of buying a TV, my mom bought a radio system. We had an array of instruments to play. I focused on drums, and at 11 years old, started taking lessons with a professional jazz drummer. I developed some visual literacy. My mother was in art school, and we spent a lot of time looking at her work and the progression, critiquing and discussing what we liked about it. I'll call myself food literate, joining the lineage of foodies starting with my grandmother. My mom would spend most of her money on good food for us, and understanding the importance of health and eating right. Is there an athletic literacy? Being involved in those activities meant learning group dynamics, group engagement, and group problem solving. What about being in counseling? What literacy did I gain there? I talked about my emotions and emotions of the people around me, what I could do to help myself and be supportive to others. So yeah, I'd say so. High school started and nothing much changed. Still artistic, still athletic, grades mediocre, and yearning to get out and go out. So I went to University of Montana, and over the next 10 years began my pathway to being culturally literate. I dropped out, actually after 2 years, and joined a commercial fishing boat in Alaska. After that, I solely managed a youth hostel in Galway, Ireland, where I was responsible for 20 or so people living there either on welfare checks or who were immigrants looking for work. I traveled Europe, I taught English on Galapagos Islands, and then I spent another 9 months traveling the South American countries. I walked the Israeli Trail for 20 days, and for 2 more months I got to know the people and the land, the source and for most of the world's problems with disagreement and misunderstandings. I love people, and after loving the melting pot of New York City for 2 years, I chose to be literate in art history, going back to school to learn how people behave and how how culture is created through time. I read and read art historical books and how people express their response to their society and the world. For the most part, I enjoy these books that are resourceful. I still don't read books that I enjoy per se to get away or for fun. For me, these art, history, and culture books are pathways to understanding the beauty of today and my world around me. That's my literacy. Thank you.
Created using Powtoon.